Hey, I'm here to talk to you about the NFL. Now, a lot of people like myself take for granted how much work these players put into for our entertainment. Granted, it's not all just for our entertainment. The more they entertain us, the more they get paid. So it's a win-win for them. But this everyday constant pounding on their bodies that they go through is very hard on them. It can lead to season-ending injuries and situations where years down the road that they will not be able to walk. And part of this has to do with how the game's played. Now, the NFL takes that into consideration when they make these rules for how the game is played. And what they're trying to do here by making new rules for the 2016 season is by trying to help these players not be put in situations that can injure them. Now, after doing research into this, I learned that it wasn't just injury-related rules that they were making. They were also making rules to help level the playing field, offense versus defense, and they were also making rules to help the overall game itself. But first, I want to talk to you about some of the injury-related rules. Now, if you don't know what a chop block is, that's when an offensive player dives at the legs of a defensive player. It's a very dangerous situation for a defensive player. His knees are very vulnerable. Like I said, the season-ending injuries, that is what could happen. Be done by just one hit from an offensive player. Now, they've tried to restrict when that could happen in the past, but that didn't work. As of 2016, that rule is completely abolished. It cannot happen. It will be a foul. Now, the next thing they've done, which is something they've already tried to restrict, which is called a horse collar. That's when a defensive player grabs the neck of an offensive player and pulls him to the ground in the form of a tackle. Now, like I said, grabbing his neck, but they've extended that window from the neck to the below the player's numbers, therefore giving a bigger window for the offensive player and requiring the defensive player to make a better tackle, make a clean tackle. Now we'll move on to some of the other rules. One of the rules that's happened for a very long time now, and this has to do with leveling the playing field, offense versus defense, is that, say, a quarterback has been allowed to wear a microphone headset in his helmet to be able to communicate to players and coaches off the field. Some would call this cheating, some would call this preparation. Now, what the NFL is calling it is cheating. The NFL has banned the use of headsets in the helmet. Whether the coach is on the sidelines or is in the stands, he is not allowed to talk to him. They're not allowed to communicate, which will level the playing field. Everybody's playing the same level. Now, one of the biggest parts to this game is being good sportsmen. Football is a very intense sport and requires you to play with high intensity at all times. However, you have to be able to control those emotions. If you can't control your emotions, you don't need to be on the field. And in those heated situations, there has been times that people have, led to altercations with other players, and that's something that doesn't need to happen. Excuse me. Now, the rule that's taking place in 2016 is that if once a player or a coach has 2 personal fouls, he will be ejected from the game. He will not be able to participate in any way. And that's just very, very helpful to help players be able to take a step back and realize, hey, I need to calm down. Now, after listening to these rules, I'd like to ask you to go watch some football in the fall and take into consideration these new rules and form your own opinions. Whether you think that was a good rule or a dumb rule, like I said, it's your opinion to form, and the only way to find out is to keep watching football.